Being beautiful can be dangerous. You know, everybody talks about pretty privilege, and although that is a reality, there's a dark side to it. So there's so many layers of trauma that comes with it that a lot of people don't talk about, you know. Especially, this is tied into SA trauma. And then as you get older, you notice that there's this mentality that some men have, especially the ones that are misogynistic. You know, if a woman looks good, you know, and if something happens to her, they always blame the woman. And they always say, oh, it's because she's beautiful, it's because she's this. And when you're a beautiful woman, women will hate you for no reason. They just hate you, or they have this secret jealousy toward you. They have this secret hatred because in their minds they think that you have it easier because you look attractive, you attract a lot of men. But I'm like, let me tell you something. For the ladies, don't envy, don't be jealous of the next woman, because you don't know what she's dealing with, man. Seriously. You have no idea, man. You might think like, oh, she's so beautiful, she can get any man, or she attracting all these guys. And attracting a lot of guys, that's actually dangerous. Being magnetic to a lot of men, that's dangerous. Very dangerous. You know, I don't think women really realize that shit. As much as women talk about the dangers of men, how men are predators, men are this, men are that, you would think that if a woman can attract so many men at the same time, you don't think that she's in a position where she's in greater danger? A lot of women don't understand that sometimes, man. And honestly, I think we gotta look out for each other. We gotta look out for the women around us. Don't be jealous of a woman just because, oh, she's pretty. And because I see this a lot, you know. And sometimes you have women that'll try to unalive another woman that they barely know. Or sometimes they'll unalive their own friend if they're jealous of her. If, oh, she's so pretty and she's so this. It's like, we already have to deal with predatory men. We already have to watch out for abusive men and try to avoid them. Try to avoid the pitfalls that come with dealing with men, right? You know, toxic men in particular. Because there's so many toxic people in general. So if you mean to tell me that with all these conversations we have about how men are abusive and men are predatory, you mean to tell me we have to look out for the women too? We have to watch out for women too? We can't even trust our own ladies, you know, because you got some that will unalive you. But when you attract a lot of people, that puts you in a vulnerable position where you can be exploited a lot faster. You know, all they gotta do is the right, I would say not the right guy, but the wrong guy. All it takes is for the wrong guy to have his eye on you, and now you become his target, and he's trying to see how he can use you, or he's trying to see how he can pimp you out, how he can sell you. You know, he's trying to figure out how to do that because he sees, oh yeah, she looks really good. If I could just, you know, have my way and make money off of her, and you know, in various fucked up ways, you know. Or it could be an abusive man that having an eye on her, like, you know, these men, I'm telling you right now, the psychology of these toxic motherfuckers, they see a beautiful woman, and some of these men, they're not trying to love her. No. If you're a gorgeous woman, for the most part, you attract the craziest, most unstable men. And they always say, you don't know how to pick them. You got to pick better. And that's why some of us don't even want to bother. Now, luckily, in my situation, I have someone. So I'm in the clear, you know. But there's a lot of other women out there that are going through this. And I make these videos to raise awareness about this stuff because I know what that feels like. You know, once upon a time, it was open season for me ever since I was a little girl. You know, ever since I was, 3 years old. Open season right there already. When an abusive man sees a beautiful woman, you know, he's just looking at how much he can destroy her. His goal is not to love her. His goal is not to, oh, well, she's so beautiful, you know, I'm going to be happy having her around my arm. That's not what they're thinking. They're not thinking like that. That's why sometimes, you know, ladies, they envy beautiful women because they think, oh yeah, they got more options, and more options does not equate to quality options. Some of those options are psycho Okay, some of those options are abusive, you know? So it's like you're in more. That's why you have to really, if you know you're that type of woman that's very attractive and you attract a lot of male attention or male whatever, you're very attractive, magnetic. You have got to be careful. You have got to really protect yourself, and you have to be very selective with the men that you're talking to, even female friends too, even lady friends, because some of these lady friends, they want to get rid of you too. It's a sick world, man. You know, you're not allowed to be beautiful, you're not allowed to shine. And when an abusive man has his eyes on a gorgeous woman, he's not thinking about how satisfied he'll be to, to be with her, to be, all that stuff. His satisfaction doesn't come from loving someone. It comes from abusing them, hurting them. And let me tell you this is going to be a disturbing truth, but this is the truth here, is that the more beautiful you are, the more an abusive man will love to hurt you, because there's more to break down. Breaking down your physical appearance, breaking down your self-esteem, your confidence, to the point that he looks at you and at first, when he first met you, you were attracting everybody, you were shining, you were very, very attractive. And now, after he gets done with you, putting you through that narcissistic abuse that could also include not only verbal abuse and emotional abuse, but also even physical too. It can gradually reach to that point, and to the point where now, you don't look the same. You don't look like when he first met you. And then that's when they get rid of you. And that part right there, they completely destroy you. And the more beautiful the woman is, the more they want to pursue that. Because for one, of course, during the love bombing stage, they're going to have a good time being intimate with you. Their ego is going to be through the roof, And then they start breaking you down. That's when they really, really feel powerful. After they abuse you, they all of a sudden, they got this glow, right? Demonic glow. Basically, because they're doing evil to you, and they're taking your energy, and then you start to lose your essence, and you're like, what the fuck? And then that's when they get the confidence to cheat, because now they're like, oh, well, I got this beautiful girl, I can get any girl now. So they steal your energy just so that they can destroy you in the process. It's almost like your beauty, the more beautiful you are, the more you boost that man's ego, the more he wants to hurt you and constantly abuse you. And then he starts cheating, doing all this crazy shit. And then all of a sudden he feels like he could just throw you away like a disposable, And now you find yourself with so much emotional pain that you don't know how to recover from. That is what abusive men do to beautiful women. So for you ladies out there that want to hate on another woman because she's beautiful and she's this, understand this. You don't know what that woman is going through. You don't know what type of spiritual battle she's facing. You don't know the level of psychological trauma that she's had throughout her whole life, probably since childhood. Because I'm going to tell you this, going back to the SA trauma that I talked about earlier, and you being pretty, it made you a target for SA. That's something that people don't talk about. People, oh, she thinks she's all that because she's so pretty. Well, guess what? Being pretty makes us a target as well, even when we were younger. And of course, this sounds fucked up, because it's like, well, you're just a little girl. You're not old enough. When the predator sees something that's attractive, and you might think, well, they're too young. Why are they looking at them like that? Well, that's the mind of a predator. The mind of a predator is very sick. They've had their eyes on you. It happened to you multiple times. Even more disturbing, the main reason why a certain man even wanted to talk to your mother is because he didn't want your mother. He wanted you. And you weren't old enough to even be aware of what he was plotting. The reason why you couldn't speak up about the SA that you went through is because you knew that you felt that everybody was going to hate you. You felt like everybody was going to blame it on you. They're gonna blame it on you because you're so attractive. It's because you're so attractive that, you know, you made that man do that. What kind of sick shit is that? And you are a young girl. You're like a child, a preteen, barely a teenager, you know? You're under 15 years old and they're telling you that shit. You know? You don't get no love, man. I'm telling you. People think like the more attractive I am, the more they're gonna love me. I'm sorry to break it to you, but no, the fuck they won't. The more attractive you look, that doesn't mean they're gonna love you anymore. If anything, it means they're gonna hurt you even more. Yeah. Another thing too, right? If you have been heartbroken before, you know, especially if you've dealt with a narcissistic individual or somebody that's just like out of their damn mind, and they're gonna make sure that they hurt you all the, like, they're gonna really do everything in their power to destroy your self-esteem. And that's all they do. The more beautiful you are, and another thing too, now, God forbid, I hope that you don't end up in a relationship with a narcissist or even marry one, because if you're an attractive woman and you find yourself with a narcissistic man, when they cheat, they'll be cheating on you, of course, because it doesn't matter if you look good, you know, but they'll do that. They'll abuse you and they'll have a good time because you're pretty. They get off to it. They're like, oh yeah, the more pretty she is, the more they want to destroy you, because they know that you have options, right? So many options, but that doesn't mean that they're all good, you know? That's what they fail to realize. And so they want to really minimize every opportunity you have to find love, you know, and they destroy you like that. And then when you know, they don't see you as a human being deserving of love. They really don't. And when you have been in that situation or have been close to being in that situation, you can see it, that they don't see the humanity in you. They just see somebody that needs to be controlled and monitored and ultimately destroyed. And they'll justify it. You know how they'll justify it? Because they'll say that, oh well, they'll claim that you're cheating too, or they always assume. That's another thing too. These narcissistic men are gonna always assume that you're cheating on them because you're a beautiful woman. You're so beautiful that all these men just want you, and so of course you're gonna lay with all of them. That's what they think, even though you're not. You could be faithful to this man, but he will not see it. So being beautiful, he will never see your virtues. He will never recognize your morality, the fact that you actually are faithful. They'll never see it. They refuse to, because they can't believe it, because they know that that's just the misogyny in them as well. That they think, oh yeah, she's a good-looking woman. They just think that, you know, because you attract with a lot of men, that you're just gonna sleep with all of them, and that is not the case. You know, even for some of us, it's hard to even be intimate with just one. Seriously. You know, because of the level of psychological trauma that some of us have been through from childhood, and then even after that. It's too much. But these men assume that these abusive men have a certain way that they think, you know, and so that's why they don't feel bad about cheating on you or abusing you, because they think you deserve it. In their minds, in their sick minds, they think that you're out there doing the same thing that they're doing, and then they think because you're attractive that you're doing more than they are, when in reality you could actually be a good woman. But they don't believe that a beautiful woman can be good. That's the thing. That's the fucked up thing about it. They don't believe that. So therefore they don't see you as a human being. And especially if their only reference to women is corn, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say the word on YouTube. If their only reference to women is corn, yeah, they definitely will see you in a very negative light. And the more attractive you are, the more they're going to assume that you're just, you know, a 304 basically. When that's not the case, man. Some of us have a lot of pain deep inside. And I'm going to tell you this. I know a woman, right? I know a woman who, very beautiful, very beautiful. She could be a model, you know? But she suffers from a lot of emotional pain that she doesn't speak about, but you can feel it. And sometimes she threw some hints that let me know that she's not doing well. She's not doing well at all. Her mental health is just not good, you know? But she doesn't want to talk about it, you know? She's just in her own bubble. But when you look at her, you know, she attracts a lot of guys. A lot of guys want her. But the thing is, they don't want her to love her. They don't want her because they love her. They want her because they just want to have sex. They want her just because they want to get in bed with her. They don't want to actually love her. And that's the thing, another aspect too, is that when you're a very beautiful woman, it's hard for you to find a man that actually loves you for who you are, like actually wants to be with you and get to know you and really love you. Because a lot of times all they want to do is get in bed with you. That's it. Because they think that's really it. That's all they believe, that's all there is to you. You know, and it goes back to that, the misogyny, and also the fact that a lot of these guys, man, they were exposed to porn at a very young age, and that is literally their only reference to women. They probably had a very bad relationship with their mother, so they never were exposed to like a real woman with actual substance, actual love. They don't know what that is, and they don't care about it. You know, they don't. That's why they treat women the way they do out here in the divided state, in the Western culture. I don't know about other countries, but I know Western culture, yes, you're gonna see a lot of that, you know? It's not, don't envy anybody, because you don't know. You know, try being more kind, because you don't know what people deal with, you know? You really don't. You know, you'll be surprised, you know? But that's why that's why I wasn't the type of person that would just follow the bandwagon of hating the next woman. And that's the sad thing too, is that us women, when we come together in a healing circle, we have the power to heal each other. We really do. We have the power to heal each other. But instead of doing that, we just want to hate each other. We want to go against each other. We want to fight each other over a fucking man. Now, one thing I could say, that I could proudly say, I never fought with a woman over a man. You're not going to make me do that. When you draw a lot of attention to yourself, predators see you easily. And I've always attracted predators throughout my life. In my early years, definitely. And, you know, and so it's hard. It's hard because, you know, you go through those things and it warps your mind. You're conditioned to have a very fucked up perception of relationships, and then you go through all of that just to deal with the hatred from other women that you didn't do nothing to. You didn't do anything to these women. And it's so sad. This is why I go out of my way to be very kind to people, and just anybody, right? Kind, but especially with ladies too. You know, sometimes when I'm out, I open the door for a lady. Even if some people think a man is supposed to do that. If it's me and another lady, I will open the door for the lady, you know, because I know that, I know people's perception. You know, if I wait for her to open the door, she'll probably think, oh, she thinks she's all that. She want me to open the door. So instead, I just open it, you know. I try my best to go out of my way to be that way, you know. And that's just how it is. And I think that's programmed too from another trauma that I had. Dealing with a certain individual from my childhood. I won't get into details about that, but it has to do with me going out of my way to make them love me, and it just never happened. And if you resonate with this, please take care of yourself. Take really good care of yourself. Don't feel guilty about prioritizing yourself, because you really need to. And if you sense any jealousy from people, you need to cut them off. And even if that means being alone, so be it. Because you don't need to be having people plotting against you, people trying to unalive you, people doing all this crazy stuff, and it's just a lot. So, you know, please protect yourself, take care of yourself. Don't envy the next woman, because you have no idea. That's the message for today. Thank you so much for listening, and take really good care of yourselves.